Hi guys, I just wanted to give some tips and tricks on breastfeeding. I am a breastfeeding mother, and I just wanted to help other moms with different do's and don'ts and different tips and tricks on things with breastfeeding. Now, when you first give birth, you don't actually get your milk in right away. You get it in after a couple of days. And what you do have, you are able to feed baby right away. But what you're feeding them is colostrum. I think I'm saying that right. I'm not 100% sure. That is very nutritious for the baby. It's even if you're not breastfeeding, they definitely want you to give them that colostrum, and then you can start formula feeding. But at first you have that come in, and then after a couple of days your milk will fully come in, and you'll be definitely engorged. Expect engorgement too. You're going to have very sore breasts when you are breastfeeding. When you need to feed, you're gonna know. And if baby can't feed and for whatever reason is sleeping or just ate and you still feel like you are engorged, make sure you pump. A few weeks after Kylie was born, I actually got mastitis, and it is very painful. I was up with a fever. I had chills. I thought I was getting sick. But it was just mastitis, and it was a clogged duct. And you want to make sure that you get that out. And the way to get that out is to have baby feed. I was told to have baby's nose feed towards that duct. And where you know, or the way you know where that is I had a red spot all right where it was. I've had mastitis twice now. I actually just had it this past week. This time it was underneath here, and my breast was very itchy. The way that I can explain it, and it sounds kind of funny, but when you are jogging and your skin or your flab that I have is waving back and forth or whatever, and it gets that numbing feeling, that's what it felt like, and it almost feels itchy. That's what it felt like underneath my breast, and I felt like I had to keep itching it, and finally I decided that I needed to just look and see what the heck was the matter. I looked, and it was red, almost looked like, not a blood blister, but like if you have rug burn, and the blood has not fully broke through the skin, and it's just sitting underneath the skin. That is what it looks like. It's basically like a dotty blood area. And it's painful. It is very painful, and you feel like you need to get that milk out of your breast ASAP. Just keep pumping, keep breastfeeding, and that's the best way to get it out. Sometimes if it's too bad of a situation, too bad of a case of mastitis, you might have to get on antibiotics, and if that is the case, definitely call your doctor as soon as possible if you're not noticing any let up of it. Like if you're not noticing that it's getting any better, then definitely call your doctor and get something figured out with it. One thing that you want to make sure you prepare yourself for is you're going to have very sore nipples. So sore to where I almost gave up. And during my pregnancy, I wanted to make sure I breastfed. No matter what, I wanted to make sure that Kylie was not formula fed at all. I wanted to make sure she was breastfed. I really wanted that connection with her, and I really wanted to make sure she had the best nutrients, and I know that breastfeeding gives a lot more nutrients than formula fed babies will get. You were loud. Okay, so no, you will get cracked nipples. I had even almost like a sore, like red dots on my nipples where you could tell that they were just sores. They're going to be very, very sore. One thing that I could suggest doing is getting lanolin cream. I had Lancino brand lanolin cream, and that is miracle. Like, it is so amazing. It helps so much. It almost takes away the pain right away. It is very, very helpful. Another thing, there's these purple things that wrap around your breast, and you can either heat or cool them, and I'll show a video of all must-haves for breastfeeding that will be in. But I would freeze them. I actually had 2 sets of them. One that I would always freeze and one that I would always heat. The reason why I would do 2 separate packs was because if you wanted to freeze them, then you would have to have them in the freezer at least for 2 hours. And if I ever wanted to, in the middle of that, heat them, then I always felt it was inconvenient to pull them out of the freezer, and then you stop that process of the 2 hours for it being able to be frozen. It was just a lot easier to have 2 sets, one for heating, one for cooling. But I definitely highly suggest that. Those are by Lancino as well. Another thing I highly suggest, I did get a pump from my insurance. I got the Medela Pump and Style brand. But I highly suggest getting a manual pump. I don't even use my electric pump at all. The manual pump is so easy. If my boyfriend was driving the car, I'm able to pump right then and there. I don't have to plug in my pump. I don't have to worry about anything stopping, nothing. Even hauling my pump, I don't have to worry about any of that. It's so convenient. I'll have that in my must-haves for breastfeeding as well. But it's amazing. I literally, at work right now, I am a working mom. I'm in the process of going to daycare going through the process of getting my license for daycare, and until then I am a working mother. I work full-time, and I don't even use my electric pump at work. I do bring it just in case for whatever reason my manual pump a part were to break or something, but I use my manual pump constantly. It's the only thing I use. I love it. It's easy, it's fast, I know when to stop, I don't have cords connecting to me. It's amazing. I love it, and it is by Lancino. If you don't feel like your milk is coming in the greatest, I suggest drinking lots of water. You'll probably always see me in my videos. I always have a huge jug of water or cup of water with me. I fill it up with ice, and I just have ice water at all times. I never used to like water until I was pregnant, and now I drink it like it's going out of style. I drink lots of water, and then another thing that I've noticed is I'll eat the granola, the Quaker Oats chewy granola bars, and oats and all that. That will help produce your milk. I actually just last week, I didn't feel like my milk was coming in that great, and for whatever reason it wasn't. And I ate a couple of those chewy bars, and almost instantly I was engorged. It helps so much with producing milk. And if you are, like, during my maternity leave, I was eating those like crazy, and I almost overproduced, and that's why I got the mastitis the first time. So I definitely watch how much you eat of them. But I ate those all the time, and I overproduced, and I was able to get my stash up so good to where right now I still have a ton of milk. It is very helpful to eat good while you are breastfeeding. It does help produce the milk, but the chewy bars are definitely something that I would suggest getting. Another thing that I suggest is when you are breastfeeding, if you are super engorged and baby is feeding, sometimes if they do pull off and they're not latched, you're still going to spray out. So I would have something there to cover. Otherwise, you're going to be spraying baby's face. I've had it many times where I've squirted all over because she's pulled off, and I didn't have anything to cover. So it's all over her face, and it's just everywhere. Another thing I would suggest is, even if that doesn't happen, is I would make sure that you have like a nursing bra. She just spit up at me. You okay? I would definitely make sure that you have a nursing bra so that once baby is done feeding, you can pull that up right away, because if you're switching sides, no matter what, if you're feeding on one side, that other side is still going to have milk come out. So that leads me to another thing. You lose 1 to 4 ounces on the opposite side that you're feeding on. So if baby is feeding on the right side, your left side is still losing 1 to 4 ounces. So there is a product out there that's, I think it's like called Milkies or something, but it prevents you from losing that milk. Sometimes I will feed her and pump at the same time, so I'm not losing that milk. Because if you're a breastfeeding mother, your milk is gold to you. And if you even spill just a little bit, if you just lose a little bit, you get upset. I'm not going to lie, you do get upset. So I would suggest either having like an empty bottle sitting right there so you can just at least have your other side just drip into. I've done that before. But you do lose milk, and you do want to make sure that you have something to even just receiving blanket to hold there so that it doesn't just leak all over you. But a nursing bra is going to be helpful for that case as well. So one thing that I can highly suggest is to never miss a feeding. If you, for whatever reason, baby is sleeping or not hungry, not latching, and you're like, okay, I need to make sure this milk is out, make sure you pump. And if you pump, then go ahead and leave that milk sit out. There is a certain table that I go by, and if I can find a picture and insert it, I'll insert it right here. But I definitely suggest leaving it out just in case for whatever baby wakes up and is hungry and then you're already emptied out. It's good once it's freshly expressed from your breast. It's okay from 4 to 6 hours. So I would suggest leaving it out. If baby wakes up, then just give it to her with a bottle. Because chances are you're not going to get very much out of the breast, but you can try the breast first. So I'm not sure if I've already mentioned this. I know I have in other videos, but you are going to have contractions after delivering. So it's only for one to maybe 2 weeks, I think, after giving birth. You will have contractions, and they'll go away. It's just your uterus going back to normal and telling your body that everything is okay. Okay? And then also engorgement. You're going to have engorgement. To get rid of engorgement, there's many things. You can pump, you can feed. If the pain is so much and it's still hurting, take a hot shower. Let that hot water run over your breast, and it's going to feel a lot better for you. So breastfeeding is the same as formula fed, except you're using a breast versus a bottle. So you still want to make sure you burp baby periodically. So once she feeds on one side for a little bit, I pull her off. If she starts fussing because she's so hungry, I just stick her pacifier in her mouth so that she at least can still get that sucking feeling. And then I burp her, and then she'll burp, and then she'll be able to feed better. She won't have as much gas in her stomach. So then I just continue to feed her again, and then I'll switch sides, and I'll do the same thing on that other side. I'll feed her for a little bit, I'll burp her, and then I'll feed her again. One thing that is helpful when you are breastfeeding in public is either use your carrier, your baby carrier. You're hidden. There's a piece that comes around the head of the baby to hold the baby's neck. And it actually does help with breastfeeding, because you can just pull your nursing bra down, and you can start feeding right in there, and people, chances are never even going to know that you're breastfeeding. Another thing I suggest having while breastfeeding, and like I said, I'll do a must-have for breastfeeding, and all these products and items will be in that video, but I live in tank tops, or I wear like a tank top, and then if I don't want to only wear a tank top, I have like a cardigan over it. But it's so easy to just pull the top of it down and be able to express your boob to baby so that she can eat. So I definitely suggest having lots and lots of tank tops. I have so many tank tops now, it's unbelievable.